Is it okay for someone or even a local church to decide to redirect their tithe from a conference to a different line of evangelism?
The church is an organized body. Remove organization and you have disorganization. Remove organization, you have chaos. The church is a reflection of heaven, because the church on earth and the church in heaven are supposed to be one, but we must obey God as verily as the church above obeys God. We have this system of tithing. The Seventh-day Adventist Church has a system. The tithe is returned to the church. The same way the widow brought her mite to the temple, despite the fact Jesus knew the temple was run by corrupt priests. He commended her for bringing her tithe to the church, because the tithe is really given to God, not to the conference president or the executive secretary or the local church pastor. It's given to God. We must avoid the scenario in which every man does what is right in his own eyes, as was the custom in the book of Judges. And so our policy as a church is to bring the tithe to the storehouse. The storehouse is the church. Now, I cannot say that God will not convict an individual to act differently on particular occasions. I cannot deny that. But if you think God has convicted you to give it to some organization, don't tell anyone. Because if you tell someone, you may spread an activity that by spreading becomes a problem. If you alone did it, no problem, because you feel so powerfully convicted. But if you spread the news around that I'm doing this and I'm doing that, simply because you want to let the church know the church can't tell you what to do, we love to be rebellious, then you've created a problem. But the general practice is the tithe is returned to the local church, and the local church takes it from there to the conference and upward. There's a system. Is it a perfect system? No, because human beings are involved. But is it a working system? Yes. The church has benefited? Yes. So we must avoid everyone doing what he or she likes. The tithe is not yours, it is God's. And God has a church on earth which he put together. In the Old Testament days, he had a church. In these days, he has a church. Now, it is not common to talk about the remnant church as it used to be, but God has a remnant people on this earth. Seventh-day Adventists. I don't mean just those who don't work on Saturday. I mean Seventh-day Adventists. And they have a system for giving, and that system ought to be upheld until God shows us a better way.
Amen.
Return your tithe to the church. If you decide to give it to some ministry, do not tell anyone.